this adventure with Look and You, we pick up our dive gear from Jetty Dive, our dive compressor arrives, and we get ready to leave Australia.
We are off to pick up our dive gear.
A new dive gear, yeah.
Which we have no space for.
We'll make space.
And the boat's a bit of a mess, but it's pretty exciting to have dive gear again.
We're in Jetty Dive at Coffs Harbour, and 14 years ago when I worked for a wholesaler, I met Mike and Deb who run Jetty Dive. It's a fantastic operation here. And so when we needed to buy some dive gear, I thought, who do I know in Australia who stocks aqualung gear? And knowing we're coming past Coffs, I've got in touch with Mike, and he's very kindly sorted us out with a whole lot of dive gear, which is fantastic. And where are most of the dive sites around here?
Oh, the Solitary Islands, that's a marine park off of Coffs. Yeah,
Yep.
Pretty special place because it's where, you know, the tropics meet the subtropics. So you've got, you know, the fish from
Warm and cold water
yeah,
mixing?
from the Barrier Reef, mixing it in with the southern fish. So.
Excellent. And you were mentioning before, great grey nurse shark dive as well?
We've got grey nurses. Actually, I've had, it's a very interesting area because we've got leopard sharks from the north and grey nurses. I've had a grey nurse nearly nose a leopard shark one day, so you know, you just it's pretty good.
Yeah, so with a bit of luck, if the weather's all right, we're going to jump on board and do some dives and capture some of that underwater footage as well. But mate, thank you so much.
No worries.
It's
Good on you,
fantastic that
Jamie.
you've looked after that with gear.
Yeah.
And now we can actually shoot some decent underwater stuff.
All loaded up, and there's an extra service going to get delivered by the Mike all the way down to the boat. Where are you off to, Jamie?
I'm off to go and have a shower.
But
It is pouring with rain, and it's a fair walk from here to the shower block. So, yeah, you'll see what I look like in a minute.
so
That feels good.
bit of a nudie run, Jamie.
Not really. Here we go. Now ready.
Surely there's no point keeping your hair dry. You're about to go for a shower.
Well, our dive compressor's arrived, and now I need to work out how to get it up on board. So I've just used the main halyard to lift up the compressor. I've now got it as far as the deck. However, we want to put it in that hatch, which means unpacking it. My only reservation with that is if you look in the background, there is some rough weather coming with more rain, we think. So I don't want to get caught halfway through and then it gets absolutely saturated. So I might even leave it to unpack for tomorrow when it's meant to be sunny.
Well, we've just been upstairs and had a chat to Darius from Australian Border Force to see what we need to do to check out. So 48 hours notice. We need fill in a form that they've given us, passports obviously. And what we didn't know was that we need a copy of the original copy of our ship's registration. It's only just come through a couple of days ago, being sent to home. So hopefully we can get Jamie's dad to express post it to us. And otherwise we're good to go.
All right, Denise, time to open up the compressor.
Yay! Ooh! Look at that!
We were concerned from our previous measurements that the dive compressor may not fit in the hatch.
How does she fit?
Really, really well. We've got heaps of room left over. At least we know we now got it in, out of the weather. After installing the filter, it was time to start the compressor.
Go for it.
Take a few pulls to
Yeah.
start. As any lawnmower owner can tell you, a little 4-stroke motor doesn't always want to start.
Is it choke on?
We suspect that the compressor hadn't been kept level during transit, and perhaps some oil had got into the cylinders.
Took an hour, but she runs. Thank God. I think Jamie was about to drop it overboard.
The next project was rigging up our new spinnaker.
Is that a new speaker, Jamie?
Look out for your woodwork.
You look out for it and you go through.
Which room? Your room?
I think so.
Yep.
With our new spinnaker, we need to get a new rope down the mast, and in order to do that, I watched a YouTube video where if we tied a weight to the end of the rope, we could get it to drop down the mast better. And then, so I'm sewing the weight back on and then taping it up to make sure it doesn't fall off while it's in the middle of the mast. And then giving it a good tug just to make sure that it's going to stay on there nice and firm.
It was time for me to go up the mast to drop the spinnaker halyard down the centre. Okay, just stop for a second. Needless to say, this is not a job for people who don't like heights. Yep. Yep. Okay. Can I get you on the right hand side of the mast to see where the spinnaker comes out? The spinnaker halyard was tied to me, so I had to undo it and then lower it down to approximately the same length in which it comes out of the mast.
Can you see it?
So few boat jobs ever work out how you planned. Got it. This one went off like a charm. So you can see that it goes in a particular way, like that, and then they clip in on this side, like that. So it's a really easy type of shackle to use. Great for a halyard. Decide I'm going to go with a snap shackle on the front here. So I'm just going to quickly do a bow line to secure it. Alright, so there's a snap shackle. So the great thing with these are brilliant invention. Heaps and heaps of strength. You pull that and they open. Clip it through the clue of the spinnaker and they lock into place.
We are replacing the, what did we decide this was called?
A block.
The block, which is on the outside, and currently we've got a single block which is bolted through the fiberglass through this hatch here. I don't know if you can see that. They're the holes. For a double block, so that we can run our spinnaker sheet through that sheets of rope. So we're doing the second one now, which is through this little hole. And if you pass me the camera, Jamie, to quote Jamie, it's a bit busy up there. There is a shitload of bolts.
We are off to watch the Grand Prix on our friend's boat. So here we are on our friend's boat, Escape Velocity. There's Jack, Denise, and Mars. And it doesn't get much better than this. We've got popcorn, we've got nibbles, we've got Formula One. It's a Sunday, and the weather's great. Melbourne Formula One Grand Prix, fantastic. Mars and Jack joined us for a trip up the hill.
This is the Forest Sky Pier, looking out over Coffs Harbour.
This place is really pretty.
Not eating berry. Not eating berry.
There we go.
Thank you. It just gives it some scope.
These eucalypts can grow up to 120 metres high.
We're at the big banana.
You get to fulfill your dream of walking through a banana.
Yes, nightmares more like.
Here's a very large lizard. Look at that.
Oh! Funniest postcard ever. Coffs Harbour at night.
Before you knew it, I had to go up the mast again. This time to set up a pulley system so we can raise and lower flags. The most common flags used are the quarantine flag and also the courtesy flag of the host country you're entering.
thing for a while. Just testing out the flag system that we've got in place. These are sister clips. Don't know why they're called sister clips, but anyway. And not that we're in New Caledonia or that we are under quarantine, but you get the idea. And then with our new pulley system, we pull them all the way up to the top, and then we just tie them off like that. And we're done.
It was time for a drink and enjoy the sunset. On the next adventure with Look and You, we provision to leave Australia. Dave comes to join the passage. We finally get our Australian ships register. Denise cooks up a stall. We leave the Australian mainland.
Inside you'll find you got what it takes. Yeah, I can tell.
If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe and share it with your friends.
Here's your chance.